Being present is a really difficult thing to do. I've been using meditation a lot to work on my ability to be present, but I have 3 main practices that I'm doing right now outside of meditation that I really find are helping me to cultivate a mind state of presence. The first thing is yin yoga. Yin yoga is basically where you're holding stretches for long periods of time. So it could be anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes in a pose. And as you sit in a pose and you're there for like 3 to 5 minutes, you just watch your mind and you watch sort of the discomfort of being in that position and having your muscle be stretched to kind of its limit, and your brain kind of produces this like, this is too much, but as you sit with that, that kind of softens and everything becomes a little bit more spacious. And when you do a whole series of yin and you do that, over the course of several weeks, I found that my whole life became more spacious, and that room kind of allowed some things to come up that were uncomfortable for me. And as those things came up and I dealt with them in like a healthy way, that was hard, but it was really rewarding, and I think kind of like took me to the next step in my spiritual development, which is pretty dang cool. So yin yoga, number 1. Number 2 is dance. So there's a thing called ecstatic dance, like ecstatic, I'm very excited. And it happens all over the country and the world, and there's probably an event near you if you live in any mid to large city. So you can just search on the web, just ecstatic dance your city, and basically what it is just like free form dancing, and generally it's in a daytime setting, or if not daytime, like one intentionality around it is sober, so there's no like alcohol or drugs associated with it. And the 3 main rules other than like sobriety are no shoes, no phone, no talking. And those are some pretty fun rules, but yeah, it's just a room of people just trying to explore the realm of like body and music and where that meets. And it's really cool because it's very open and non-judgmental, and people are really getting into it. The first time you go, you might be pretty uncomfortable and you see people just really getting into it and you're just like, whoa, what are these people doing? But I found that the people that are getting crazy and just really like going for it, they create a lot of space for like the rest of us to not judge ourselves, right? Because it's like, it's one of those things, you'll never be the weirdest person at it, and so that kind of like, that gives you space to be weird, and sometimes that's what we need in self-discovery, because we're going beyond our comfort zone, and we're gonna stumble when we go beyond our comfort zone. So it's helpful to have like space to stumble and to not really know if what you're doing is cool or whatever. It's just like, there's no judgment. So it's a very judgment-free zone, and I really appreciate that with it. But in my experiences with dancing are very much sort of like a tango with my judgmental mind. So I'll go in there and, be kind of warming up, starting to dance, and I'll start to watch my mind and I'll be like, I don't like this song, or I don't like this person, why are they doing this? And so like I find myself very much judging. And for me, the work of the ecstatic dance is to just keep dancing, just keep trying to come back to the moment and not get swept away with like the judgmental mind. And if I can do that, it is pretty awesome and very, very ecstatic. And I find that the shift that happens is like it becomes less about me and more about the group. So I'm not as concerned with like David the individual. It's just like I'm one of many beings moving to like these melodies that are, you know, pulsing around us, and it's like to get out of my head and just like experience the world like as it's unfolding with the group who's also doing the same thing is an incredibly powerful experience, and I really, really enjoy that. With that said, I don't get there every time I dance. So some dances, I stay in my head the whole time, and it's just me judging and trying to let go of that judgment and just like fighting this internal battle. And yeah, sometimes it's not amazing and ecstatic. Sometimes it's a lot of like mental work, but it's work, it's a practice, and it's unfolding over time, and so I'm gonna keep doing it because it's serving me really well. The last thing I will say is I started doing kirtan very recently, and that's basically there's like a group of musicians, often with like a harmonium, maybe guitar, drums, and so they're up there playing, and then they chant. Often it's like call and response, so they'll like chant something, often in like Sanskrit, and then the audience or the people that are, you know, sitting, we respond to the chant. And this is a very new practice for me, but I've found that the times that I've gone, it is pretty incredible. I I often cry during it, and I don't know the chants or anything. I just try to follow along and like do my best and to try and like vocalize and make my voice heard. And something about it opens my heart, and that's what they say. It's very heart-opening practice because I feel a lot of love and kindness and joy afterwards, and during it, it's just sometimes it's like I cry, and it's the weirdest thing, because in normal life, like, I have a really hard time crying, and it's something I would like to do more of, so I'm very appreciative of the practice for that, from that standpoint. But yeah, it's an amazing thing. I don't have too much experience with it, but it's really cool, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I found that those three things, yin yoga, dance, and kirtan, have really sort of like it's just like put rocket fuel behind my meditation practice, and I feel like I've grown so much in the ability just to like be present. And then, you know, now it's like, even I'll be washing the dishes or something and just like feel what I'm feeling in my body, you know, try to feel like the energy flowing, and it's pretty cool to be able to do that. So anyway, hope that helps. I'm sure I'll find other practices and modalities that help, but those are the three big ones for me right now. Have a great day. I'll see you later.